Hi everyone and welcome back to the Bods. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. You join me today for a review of the Bricklink Designer Program set 910004, the Winter Chalet. I mean, I'm going to start out by saying, look how beautiful this set is. There was no doubt in my mind that I needed to get this set when I saw it. I'm a massive fan of the Winter Village sets, and this is kind of in keeping, but not really. But it is also beautiful. So a couple of particulars about the set. It cost £150, $200. You can't buy it now, obviously it was a limited run. It's got 7 minifigs, which I'll show you later, and 2,705 pieces. Now, I love the look of it, but I'm not going to say it was an amazing build. All of this detailing just adds so many steps to the build. It's a lot of like 1 by 1 pieces added in. When we get to the interiors, you'll see there's a ton more 1 by 1 pieces. So it was quite a long process, and I don't know if this sort of effect really adds much. I think if Lego had designed this model, then we would see sort of cleaner lines, and I don't think it would lose the appeal because of that. So let's have a quick run through of the set. So you've got the downstairs door, and that's 1 flaw there in that it knocks off the lights, and apparently also the door handle just ran away. So the lights I don't like because they are the wrong colour for my liking. I think this colour is a better choice. This is a bit too highlighter yellowy. That door goes through to the downstairs, which I think seems to be like a restaurant. You also have a second door on the second level, accessed by these stairs. The stair rail falls apart easily if you're not too careful, but then you do get the nice snow effect coming down the stairs. We've also got a little door down this side, which is like an interior store. A couple of like bins and buckets and brooms and things in there. A lot of flower detail to make it pretty. You've got a little balcony with flowers and then window boxes, and they do all add really nice detail. The side vines though, the ones at the side and here, were very hard to line up. I like the colouring of the set, although I'm not keen on the roof colour. I think that's a bit too harsh in the black. And the roof itself doesn't attach, it just slots on. So it's not overly stable, but I guess that is better for access. Although this side no longer comes off. Once you put it on, you then add this piece in here, and you need to remove that piece to be able to take the roof off. So it's a 2-step dismantle. The roofs themselves, the panels were not fun to make at all. There's a lot of detail on that snow that, again, I think Lego wouldn't have put in. And there was so many pieces that were very similar but used very close together, so it was quite easy to get it wrong. So for example, these 2 pieces here, very similar pieces, very easy to pick up the wrong one and get confused. And that was a theme throughout the whole build. In fact, there was a lot of pieces that I had to undo and get the correct piece because they were too similar to a piece that was used elsewhere. We give it a spin around. Now, I've got lights shining at this, so I'm probably not giving you the right impression, but without a light shining directly in this, it's dark, it's really hard to see. There's no easy access for hands in there unless you take the whole thing apart. But if you take the whole thing apart, getting it back together is not easy. So you've got lots to line up on this middle layer, and pushing it down when the roof is so sort of wobbly and flimsy, not the easiest. So I wouldn't describe this as a modular build. The interiors are amazing. I really love the bottom floor with all the different food details, the little kitchen area, and in fact the technique for the candelabras is quite a nice one, if a little flimsy. The beds on the 2nd and 3rd level are all pretty similar in build nature, and you might notice that this bed here is missing some pieces. The curved pieces to make the edge of the bed were actually not in our bag, and we instead had 1 by 2 Technic bricks instead. These aren't used in the build anywhere, so this was quite clearly a manufacturing error. I don't know if anyone else has seen that. Let me know in the comments below if you've built this and you also have the same problem, or whether it was just a freak accident in the factory. You've got an internal door here that doesn't really open because that wall's in the way. But it doesn't matter because you can't really access the bathroom anyway. It's just not a playset, I think. There's no real thought into how to get inside this and play with it. You can see now the detail at the bottom is done with quite a lot of 1x1 tiles, 2x1 tiles up here, but this was a long time to make, and getting them all lined up a bit painful. On the top of the chimney stack here, you've got an interesting technique for smoke, but that is not very stable. That comes off very, very easily. So again, it's the same theme we see with these Bricklink Designer sets, that they aren't as stable as you would expect from a Lego set. The figures in the set are pretty generic, so they're not really going to influence your decision on whether to buy this on the secondary market. They are already available torsos and not much to write home about, which is good because one of them has ended up on the floor and I cannot find it. He's got a green torso. I would say this one confuses me, however, because you can see the presence of snow and yet backless top, so clearly not dressing for the season. So ultimately this suffers the same problems as the previous Bricklink Designer Program sets. They're not overly stable, they look gorgeous, but there's too much detail, which kind of ruins the build process a little. Am I happy to have it? Yes, it looks fantastic. I'm not sure it's going to fit in our winter village, but I'm going to try and get it in there. And the fact that it's now built means I'm not overly bothered about the build process again. I just wish it was a little bit more stable in itself to move it around a bit. But once it's in the city, no issues. So let me know in the comments below what you think of the Winter Chalet, whether you've bought this and been disappointed or whether you're happy with it. Also, if you want to see other Bricklink Designer Program sets that we've reviewed, I'll link up the playlist at the end. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an update. See you later!